Well, I can't come up with ideas for an intro, so here's Destroy All Humans 2. Hello, and welcome to Parents Guide to Games. My name is Stefan. Can you please like, share, and subscribe? Here at the game week of August 30th, 2022. The first game on the list is Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. This is going on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is teen. The content descriptions: crude humor, sexual themes, strong language, and violence. This is a comic mischief sci-fi shooter set in the 1960s in which aliens must take revenge on the KGB for blowing up its mothership and uncovering a sinister plot. The game features strong violence during a cutscene in which a human character is shot with a rifle and falls to the ground. Other violence is less realistic, with human and fantasy creatures having cartoon-like reactions to being shot with weapons, which include a ray gun and a probe gun, which pulls out characters' brains. The game also includes the sight of non-playable characters smoking marijuana from bongs, as well as various drug references. There's use of discriminatory languages, and there's also use of bad language. There's some suggestive dialogue and discussions of sex. The next game on our list is Inscription. This is coming out on PlayStation 5. The rating is mature. The content descriptions: blood, strong language, and violence. This is a card-based deck building game in which players battle a mysterious force while building their card decks, solving puzzles, and overcoming challenges. Gameplay mostly consists of card-based battles in which players attempt to defeat opponents by using animal-themed cards that slash, bite, or dive bomb opponents' cards. One cutscene depicts first-person video footage of a man getting shot. The camera falls to the ground as large blood pool is seen. Swear words appear in-game. Now let's take a look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Cowabunga Collection. This is coming on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is teen. The content descriptions: fantasy violence, mild blood, mouse suggestive themes. This is a compilation of 13 action and fighting games based on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle franchise. In the action games, players assume the role of the turtle heroes as they battle enemies with side-scrolling environments. Players use blades, staffs, and nunchucks to attack enemy minions and villains in frantic melee-style combat. Battles are accompanied by impact sounds, mild explosions, and cries of pain. In the fighting game, players can choose from a selection of human and mutant characters to battle in one-on-one combat. Players use punches, kicks, and throws to drain opponents' life meters. Characters use swords, hockey sticks, claws, and special abilities to attack each other in frantic fights. The compilation contains some comic book covers that depict blood stains on the characters' clothing and background environments. In one fighting game, a character's breasts jiggle after winning. Now we're going to take a look at Ooblets. This is coming on Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is everyone. This is an adventure game in which players explore, farm, and explore their new home in and around Badgetown. Players can also engage in minigames while collecting creatures called Ooblets. Now it's time to check out JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. This is coming on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is teen. The content descriptions: language, mild blood, suggestive themes, use of tobacco, and of violence. This is a fighting game in which players engage in one-on-one or three-on-three matches. Players mostly use punches, kicks, and throws to delete opponents' health meters. Weapons as pistols, machine guns, and swords are also used during fights. Battles are frantic and highlighted by impact sounds, screen shaking effects, and splashes of black blood. Some over-the-top finishing moves depict characters crushed by a steamroller, hooked away on a speeding train, and run over by a speeding car. And some female characters are designed with jiggling breasts and/or perform suggestive pose. Characters' taunts and winning dialogue also contain suggestive comments. One character is frequently depicted smoking a cigarette. Swear words appear in-game. Now let's get creative with LEGO Brawls. This is going on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The ratings are 110 and up. The content descriptions: cartoon violence. This is an action fighting game in which players control customizable LEGO characters that battle in multiplayer matches. Player characters brawl and battle in themed platform events using swords, bats, hammers, and powers to drain opponents' life meters. Battles are frantic, highlighted by impact sound, large explosion, and screen shaking effects. And the last game on our list with a full description is The Last of Us Part 1. This is going on PlayStation 5, the rating is mature, the content descriptions: blood and gore, intense violence, nudity, sexual content, strong language, and use of drugs. This is an action game in which players follow the story of Ellie and Joel as they continue their struggle to survive in a post-traumatic Wyoming. From a third-person perspective, players traverse through small towns, wilderness, and ruined environments, using a variety of weapons to kill infected mutant and human survivors in frantic combat. Some sequences enable players to use stealth attacks against enemies approaching from behind, slitting their throats. Players can also use explosives to set enemies on fire or blow enemies apart into limb and bodily chunks of flesh. Cutscenes depict further instances of violence: a human captive bound and hung from a noose before being disemboweled, assailants beating a restrained woman armed with a hammer, characters shot in the head with arrows, a man repeatedly pistol whipped. The game contains some sexual content, a couple disrobing and briefly engaging in a sexual act. The couple is heard grunting and moaning as the screen turns to black. Some zombie creatures are depicted with exposed breast and genitalia. One sequence depicts two characters smoking marijuana joints from a room full of marijuana plants. Swear words appear in the dialogue. And the rest of the games on today's list are also coming out, but no information was available. Thank you to bensound.com for the music track. Please follow Parents Guide to Games on YouTube at Parents Guide to Games, on Facebook at Parents Guide to Games, on Twitter at ParentsG2G, and email any questions or concerns at parentsg2g@gmail.com. And always, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.